Good afternoon guys, James here from Sunseeker Southampton, down in a very sunny Swanwick Marina to bring you to market today a new brokerage listing. So she's a Fairline Targa 47 GT, 2008 model, and she's just behind us here in the water. Currently named Amalfi, although the owners are keeping this for her new boat, which are arriving in a couple of months' time. So this one's just coming onto the used market at £309,950 UK tax paid. She's a lovely example, only two owners from new, and those of you that know this area of the market will know the Targa 47 is a legendary boat. Really, really nice layout. We've got two big cabins, two bathrooms, great family boat, garage in the back, sliding hardtop there. You can see this one presents really nicely. So we're going to run her out today, get the drone up, take some exterior shots and what have you. Join us for the Seatrial. We'll tell you a little bit more about her history, running through the tech spec and what have you. Just coming around the outside here, you can see blue gel coat hull band from factory with the white top sides. Coming to the end of the season now, so would benefit from a polish on that hull band, but having been here in the UK, very little UV degradation compared to a med boat. Just coming around on the back here, so we've got a teak laid bathing platform and cockpit floor. Teak starting to show its age here on the platform here. We've got a couple of areas where it's starting to go through to the ply base underneath, but serviceable as it is and presents very nicely, easy to replace when you wish. So we're just going to get startup procedure done. So we've just turned the batteries on downstairs. Up at the helm here, just turn the ignitions on. So we're running the larger D9-575 engines, reading just over 800 hours. So we're cold start. We haven't started these up this morning, just so you can see what they're like, firing into life. So we have a big engine hatch in the floor here, we'll have a look at when we come back, which tucks underneath. We've got this big garage area here with space for sort of up to a 3-metre tender if you wish, and then you've got a separate access we'll have a look at later in through this starboard side, which also gives you direct access down the starboard side of the engines. So as always, just before we get going, just going to do a momentary knock in and out of gear. I always like to just test my controls. We've got a bow and stern thruster control here, just checking those work, and we've got the option here with a remote control system, which is a nice to have for the thrusters themselves. Obviously being on shaft, she's very, very easy to maneuver. Nice little window here next to the helm, which gives us great visibility. You can see all the way there, stern up to the bow. Tucked over on the pontoon there, I've just taken them off. We've got the full aft canopy for the back here, so you can enclose the cockpit when you wish. Obviously on a nice sunny day like we have here in Swanwick today, see we've got that GT roof open to give us the real open boat feel. So I'm just going to get Kim to drop off our lines and we'll be away off up the river. As always, it takes us about 25 minutes slow speed running, so it's a chance for the engines to warm up. We'll have a talk through the general specs and we'll have a proper look around the boat. Very rare to come to market, these hugely popular, and honestly the first person getting on board to look for one of these specifically, I think will be very impressed with what they see. So obviously with my remote control on the thrusters, I've got the ability to hold the boat on the dock if I need to. Just going to get Kim to take our spring lines off here. You see we've got these two small lines in the middle, so we're just going to show how easy this is with two of us. To take the boat off the dock, we'll do everything nice and slow, as we always do. So we've got nice standing room, you notice here at the helm, so we've got the seat bolsters currently lifted up. The owners have had some little bespoke cushions made so that when the seats are down, got a little bit more height on those, comfy for sitting on for lengthy periods. And this is my looking in my eye line here, so we've got view out of the roof, see all the way around the boat quite comfortably. We're weighing in around 25 tonnes, so the boat's sitting here nicely. A little bit of wind coming across on our port side. which will gently take us off the dock.
Clear.
So Kim's off the pontoon there, so we're just going to do our manoeuvring here on the throttle controls. Use a little bit of bow thruster if we want, just to take the boat off the dock. And you'll see, very, very docile. Lovely boats to drive, these 47s. Very, very manoeuvrable, big bronze propellers. We're going to perform just a J-turn manoeuvre here. See, we've got very manoeuvrable even in this what appears to be quite a tight space. Very easy just to spin the boat round on the engines, don't need to use any thrusters. We can use a bit more revs if we want to just kick the back round like that. You can see we're all the way around, lined up nicely here. We'll just engage our engines ahead and off we go. So we had the boat surveyed at the end of last week. A few little bits and pieces picked up, but nothing concerning for a boat of this age. Say just over the 800 hours on the clocks. Serviced in July 2021, and we've got pretty much a full service history going all the way back to initial supply. Current owner says had her for about 8 years, so very, very experienced. Been all over the south coast with her. Kept at Mercury River Marina, just a little bit further down from where we are here in Swanwick. So just going to get Kim to stow the lines and the fenders away, and we'll check back in a bit and we'll run through the specs in a bit more detail. So we're just plodding down the river here at 6 knots, which is our speed limit down the handball. So we'll have a little bit more of a walk around. So the boat was detail cleaned yesterday, so we've been through all the teak. You can see this has all been chemically treated, so we're back to a nice uniform colour. Cockpit teak actually is pretty good. Just looking around here, can't see any nasty marks or bits of caulking that need dealing with. Got a nice teak step here which allows you, we'll have a look when we get out on the Seatrial how that helps with the visibility. Cockpit upholstery was replaced in 2019 in this silvery grey Silvertex material. Just modernises the boat, nice and neutral. You could dress this up with some funky scatter cushions if you wish. We've got this lovely big adjustable height teak top table, and just open that up, you can see lovely graining through the wood there, little detail in the middle. Obviously makes a very social area here in the cockpit. Up in the roof here, so we're still running on normal incandescent bulbs, so that might be something to consider doing as an upgrade, would be to change the lights out for LEDs, just cut down the power consumption as well as a little bit brighter. And it looks like there's been some retrofit of some little LEDs in here in the roof as well. So we've got fixed glass panes in the top, drop down window here over on the co-pilot side, as well as that helm window, the window up there. So lots of natural light in, but equally on days when it's not so nice, just electric button, the roof shuts. Got some windows in the hardtop as well, which we'll have a look at when we get out to sea. So wet bar here on the port side, where we've got electric griddle, works off the generator down in the engine room, as well as a sink at the top there. And then we've got a little prep area, and then underneath here, cupboard, and there's space. This is optional to put an ice maker in if you ever wish. And then we've got a little fridge Then round here on the starboard side, beneath the seating here, we've got a handy locker. The top lifts off as well. So you've got that goes right back underneath. We've got the black mesh covers for the windows, the windscreen, and a dedicated life raft storage area there over on the starboard side. Cup holders and what have you on the top here. Banker switches here for lights in the cockpit and the garage control. And then we've got a good, shuts with a good clonk. That transom gate there makes it very safe if you've got kids or dogs on the boat. We've got a diesel heating system throughout, which includes some outlets in the cockpit here. So if we've got anything down by the helm, no, so nothing by the helm, just that one at the back. We've just come up on the side decks. So show access on the decks very easy from the back here. Nice big step. And we've got handrails here along the top of the roof. You notice walking down here at the moment, I can walk down forwards on the rails. We've got these come outboard. You see the canted over rails there just to give you a little bit more space to walk down the decks. And then we've got fender baskets built into the stainless steel rails. You have to excuse the wind if it's a bit fresh up here. And then up forward we've got a good size Delta anchor with a Lumar winch and a locker down there with the chain and space for fender storage as well. Everything shuts with nice clonks, a very good era build for these Fairlines. And up top we've got a 4-foot open array radar scanner up there, which is a 48 nautical mile Raymarine unit, twin VHF aerials, remote control spotlight, aerial for the TV. So you're just looking around general condition. I say fiberglass could benefit from a compound and polish, but it's a very nice base to work from, and typically what you'd expect to find this time of year with the boat having been used through the season. So obviously coming back around here on the starboard side, we don't have the step down, so we're just going to step down to the bathing platform here. This is a separate door we'll have a look at when we get back. So before we get out to sea, we'll just take this as an opportunity to go and have a look around cabins downstairs. So you'll notice a good sized companionway hatch as we came down there. Just turn some lights on down here. So big U-shape leather sofa here, which is all booked to be detail cleaned at the end of next week. And we're also going to go through all the carpets. Got over carpets on the original factory carpets underneath there. Keeps everything nice. So, and they'll be detail cleaned. Table here has the option also for a drop down to make an occasional bed. There's some little supports for the table here, just underneath these pull out. Little bit of sun fade you can see on the table here. Obviously it spent most of its life set up as a coffee table. I was saying, just looking, the leather is actually in pretty good shape, just needs a detail clean. So I say that's booked in already. And we got loads of storage. These are really well known for practical onboard cruising. So these are all high level cupboards throughout. Nice size stainless steel port lights there down, not too high off the water surface. Glasses storage in here. So we've got the original factory glasses. Across here in the galley we've got all of the original crockery set, and in the drawer here under the worktop we've got the cutlery as well. So full complement of everything. We've got 2 sets of keys for the boat, and this is your galley arrangement over on the port side. So electric galley, obviously with the microwave oven, 2-burner ceramic top, loads of storage. Again, mirror image of the other side. Two sinks. We've got this nice little inlaid butcher's block, and then packed in storage again underneath worktop. Everything shuts, so a nice clonk. So freezer in the top, good sized fridge underneath. Nice catch there to hold that shut when you're at sea. And you can see the natural satin finished oak here presents really nicely. No notable marks to mention to you. I can't see any water damage. So on this aft bulkhead here, these are the main breakers for the 230 volt system. We've got the generator start here as well, and the main bank of domestic switches is in the aft cabin. So TV setup here. That's your booster for the TV aerial. We've got the stacker, which is for the head unit down here. And we've got an assortment of remotes there for the head unit, which is DVD as well. Then two cabins. So forward, this is the master cabin, conventional layout, island centerline double bed. See all the lights work. Just looking at the wall lights. Other than a little bit of condensation, I would say, around those windows, doesn't look like we've appeared to have any sufferings from old water leaks. And again, the leather's pretty good in here. Got little storage either side of the bed. These will all be high level cupboards up top, tucked under the decks. You can see we've got the AV system with speakers in the roof. So we've got a good size wardrobe, little LED lights in the top there. Mirror on the back of the door is a nice touch for getting dressed. Again, just looking through the carpets here. Nicely finished. These were an upgrade on the factory standard. Got a drawer under the bed here. Those are some extra straps for the canopy that was replaced in 2020. So ensuite heads, we've got that nice wraparound rotating shower door with a teak seat, and the teak floor there finishes nicely. Upgraded worktops here in the bathrooms and also in that galley worktop as well from factory. Electric flush Jabsco freshwater toilets there. And then coming back, see we've got storage underneath there. Two big boxes of manuals, the original owner's book and the cushions to make the saloon into an occasional bed. And then we come down midships. We've got two single beds that run thwartships across the boat. These can be slid either fore or aft. You see how these, a handle underneath here. You can pull that across. See, that creates a bit of space down the side, and you can make an island double bed when required. This is your main breaker panel here, tucked up on the bulkhead. It's easy to access everything. Again, just checking the linings and what have you. You can see everything's nice down here. Looks like we've had a little weep in on that window, so it's something we could have a look at. TV up on the wall there. And then a second ensuite heads compartment here. Again with a shower stool. Little bin underneath there, electric loo. Cupboards up top. And then tucked behind the door here. Good sized wardrobe. They've even left a couple of Fairline umbrellas there. So, very nice condition down here. So just come back up to the dashboard here. So we've got an array of gauges for the engines, giving us temperatures and pressures and what have you. And then on this EBC controller here, we can cycle through temperatures and pressures you see on the gauge there as I rotate this little mouse control. Got turbo pressures, battery voltages and what have you as required. Little handy storage bins here. And then nav kit itself, we've got an ST6002 autopilot. We'll have a go with that today. Tridata giving speed, depth, temperature. What would have been an upgrade at the time, so this is an E120 Raymarine 12-inch MFD, which does either a combination of chart and radar. So if we do a page here, we can set these up in all manner of different displays depending on what you wish to show at any one time. And then we've got a demist system as well, which links into the heating, and you can see the little vents on the top there. So it's a blue factory dashboard. Again, for the year, all pretty good. Can't see any cracks, as these often do suffer. They've been subjected to excessive heat. This has a nice canvas cover that lives over the top of it, which has just been taken off to be cleaned. And then across here on the starboard side, we've got our Lenco electric trim tabs, fire suppression system override. We've got our bounce turn thruster controls you saw earlier, and there's the remote control spotlight and the VHF handset tucked down next to the helm. So we're just going to get the boat finally stowed, ready to go to sea, check back in a bit, and we'll get her up to speed and see what she's like underway. So here we are, bottom of the Hamble River. So we're just going to open the boat up and get her up on the plane. You can see what she's like at speed. Now obviously on a sports boat like this, with the engines underneath the cockpit floor next to us, we're always going to get some noise in the cockpit here. We can't really do anything about that, but it's part of the enjoyment. So we just come round, get lined up. We're going to run today just outside the main channel here on the right hand side. So you can see we've got the speed here over ground just coming up to 10 knots. Just going to open her up. Hear those turbos boost. You'll see the nose come up, and she'll go over what we call up and over the hump as she comes up onto the plane. So still sitting here, I spin the camera around so it's direct eye line here. You can see, we can see over the nose here. We're running straight up there, 30 knots. We're going to bring it back to a bit more of a cruise speed, so just ease back on the throttles here. A bit more of a cruise speed. Which I would say on one of these is about there. And I might just put a little bit of trim tabs, so I can just put 3 clicks LED lights there, so we've got nice visibility. And at that 23 knot speed, I would say we're burning around 100 litres an hour. So efficient cruise speed for a boat of this size. It could be across the channel in around 4 hours. Lovely wake shop there. So boat is absolutely effortless. Definitely worth buying one of these with the bigger D9s in. Really does perform nicely. Be quite happy sitting here for a number of hours if we're doing a long passage down to Dartmouth or across channel, what have you. So we've talked about trim tabs before and how they work. So you can see if I take these all the way back off, you see where the breaking point of the water is here, just next to us at the helm. If we put trim tabs on, reducing the drag, see that's brought that much further forward there as it's burying the nose in. He's got a big deep V hull. Very comfortable rough water boat, perfect for UK use. So we want to wind it up now, so we just see all our temperatures and pressures have come up, everything's sitting nicely there in the black. We're just going to bury the throttles, got instant mid-range pickup there. Look, you watch that speed jumping straight up. I've taken the trim tabs off, so we're now minimum amount of drag, and you see that speed climbing. Got a little bit of tide behind us today, so we're still climbing up there, 33.5. Just going to do a couple of turns here, check nobody's round behind us. So it's a big shaft drive boat, so a little bit of time to respond there. You can see lovely big banking S-turns here. Don't want to upset the yacht here over on our right hand side, so we're going to tuck back in behind him as we come back out of the channel. See that speed still staying up north of 30 knots there, and it's absolutely effortless. If we stand up here, the wind in your hair, absolutely majestic boat, very, very smooth in the water. Still got good visibility, we can see lots of glass around us here. An electric hydraulic steering here, so it's nice and easy, very responsive. We're just going to ease that speed back, let the boat sink back in off the plane. So you'll see as we come off the plane now, let that wave catch up, so we just ease it back gently so we don't flood the back of the boat. Back into neutral. So just to show you them close quarters manoeuvring here, if I put one stern and one head now, you can use a little bit more power if you want to do this quickly, but you can see how quick that spins the boat on its own axis. Very, very manoeuvrable these. You see we have a little bit of rocking here just from our own wake. And obviously if we take the power off, we can just slow that back down. Gently back into a head. So we're just out of the main channel here, so we're just going to get the drone out. Join us back in a bit for some running shots. So a chance to see the boat here running up to speed. As you can see, we've gone from tick over, opening the throttles and getting the boat up and going. You see a little bit of time as the turbos take a while to boost up, and off she goes onto the plane. The boat will stay on the plane down to around 17 knots, but you can see running here we're up to about 25 knots, which is about maximum we can keep up with the drone. See a nice braking wave there around halfway down the boat, running without any trim tabs on in this shot. And as we come forward, just a chance to see the boat in profile here as we come round and down the port side. I have to say, a really majestic boat on the water, effortless with those large D9 engines. You can see here cruising along, looking wonderful in the sunshine. Just running up alongside here, a chance to see her from a different angle as we come round here towards the bow. A little bit of wash here from the container ship that's just gone past. And to finish off, a nice little shot on the nose here as we head back in for our arrival back to Swanwick Marina. So here we are on our final approach back into Swanwick. Hope you enjoyed those drone shots out in Southampton water. You can see everything's just cooling off nicely on the gauges there. So we're going to try something different today. We put a camera up in the roof there as well, so we can hopefully see a little picture-in-picture here of the throttle controls being utilised whilst we come in for the actual docking. So we've got our lines and fenders set up on the port side, so we're coming into a different berth from whence we came out earlier. So just going to knock it back into neutral now. Speeds come down here. We're just running 6 knots up the river. So you'll notice a little platform I've got dropped down here at the helm, which we didn't use whilst we were out at sea. This just gives a little bit more visibility to sit up nice and high here. So obviously we saw earlier how manoeuvrable the boat is. We're just going to turn our thrusters on, 2 buttons here together. Doing everything as always nice and slow. Most of our manoeuvring will be done with the steering just in the straight ahead position. You can see by putting one ahead and one astern as we did out at open water there, we can rotate the boat round. Just useful to have a look up the top of the mast there, the little telltales, so we can see not much breeze at the moment, a little bit coming across on our port aft quarter. We're going to come all the way down the end here, turn the boat around 180 and then into the berth. So Kim's going to do the lines. We're going to start with the stern line, just get that secure on the pontoon, and then she can walk down. You'll see we've got the bow line running from the cleat there down the side deck, and I've just got it resting over the rail there midship, so she can get off the boat and effectively has got instant control. So obviously saw earlier with the bow and stern thrusters, they're very powerful when you need them. Big electric thrusters, quite handy. The wind's just going to be blowing us off. So you can see the speed's down now. It's just a tick over. So I haven't quite got room to put my nose all the way into the far right hand corner there and spin in, so I'm just going to spin in a little bit earlier than this pontoon here. You'll see on that other camera hopefully how we're going to do this. So just have to watch the stern here as we come round. So you've got the anchors and what have you on here. I'm just going to put this one into reverse. Everything nice and slow. It's going to look quite tight in here, but actually got plenty of working room. You see as we come around here we've got good visibility. I know it's not a particularly windy day, but honestly it isn't much more difficult in the wind. You just have to have the confidence. Take your time. See how we're pretty much turning on a sixpence there. Just little throttle inputs and we're going back into that corner. So we're going to get lined about 45 degrees. Careful not to over rotate the boat. The wind is blowing us off the mooring here. That's just going to naturally drift in there. You can see the pontoon down the back there. Just going to use a little bit of thruster away from the pontoon. Don't want to arrive too fast. And we've got visibility here from the helm. And we're in. So Kim now can go and literally step off the back of the boat. So she's got the stern line there nice and close. Now the wind's taking us off, so I can just use the thrusters just to hold us on the dock. Little blips on the controls there when we need to, so she get that stern line on. Walk forward and you'll see she's going to take that bow line over the side there. Obviously we can keep the stern in using the engines, but it's nice if we've got the thruster controls to make use of them. And she's got us tied up there, so we can now walk off the helm. Boat's not going anywhere. So you can see we've got a line on the stern here, so what we're going to do, just bring this one back up, around this one here, and then what we can do, effectively make a spring forward. So I'm just going to get Kim to hold the camera and give me that line. Just bring that forward. Do with another line here. So line's a little bit heavy for the boat, so actually ideally I'd like to see something a little bit thinner, but now that we're tied up, we can get the boat sorted out. Just going to turn the engines off here. So you just turn them off and turn the keys off a little bit more, and we're in. So we're just going to take a quick look in the engine room. So you can see we're on a straight shaft configuration, so the gearboxes are tucked down behind the engines. I'm sure there could be a half a day in here, a little bit of tidying up, just general cleaning down and detailing, but on the whole I think everything's pretty good. We'll climb down between the engines here. A little bit warm where we've just been out Seatrial, but you see how much room we've got under the back here. And there's that separate access we mentioned off the bathing platform in the starboard corner. It's very handy. A centerline generator there.
Now, I didn't shoot a video clip of the garage, but just a quick couple of snaps here showing the 3.15 Avon tender the owner has in the garage. Note this is not included in the sale.
So there you have it. So as always, if you'd like to know any more, it's James at sunseekersouthampton.com, or mobiles +44 7747 686 587. Don't think this one's going to be around for very long. Going live on the market later this week, so if you'd like to know more, please get in touch.